You know that feeling, right? When you finish a movie and it just sticks with you for days. That final impression, man, it can totally define the whole experience. But here's the thing, not all endings are the same. Some give you a clean goodbye, while others, well, they feel more like an invitation. So let's dive into what that really means. So on the one hand, you've got these endings that give you this just deep sense of satisfaction. Everything's wrapped up. It's a perfect farewell to a world you've really come to love. But then you've got these other endings that do something completely different. They don't close the door, they throw it wide open. They're basically inviting you to keep the story going inside your own head. So what's really the difference here? And trust me, it matters.
All right, first up, let's talk about that feeling of pure completion. You know, the satisfying farewell. This is the kind of story that ties up every single loose end, right? It resolves all the big conflicts and just gives you a real, honest-to-goodness ending.
And honestly, is there any better example of this than one of the greatest epics ever told? I'm talking, of course, about J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. I mean, this story is an absolute masterclass in how to build a world and then, in this beautiful, bittersweet way, how to say goodbye to it. So, what makes this feeling of closure so powerful? Well, it really boils down to a few key things. First, The Lord of the Rings is just massive. We're talking an epic scale. The fate of the entire world is on the line. The conflict is super clear and external. It's a straightforward battle of good versus a very real, very tangible evil. And here's the kicker. When it ends, period. The ring is destroyed, the heroes get to go home, and order is restored. It's just a powerful, deeply satisfying finality. And that's the crucial point, really. The beauty of a story like this is in its completeness. It's like a finished painting. You can stand back, admire the whole masterpiece, take it all in. It's a world we get to visit, a world we fall in love with, but when the story's over, we say our goodbyes. Okay, so that's one kind of ending. But what about the complete opposite? Let's flip the script and talk about a different kind of ending, one that doesn't just close the book, but actually hands you the pen. This is what we're calling the endless invitation, the story that literally begs you to continue it. And for this one, our go-to example has to be Michael Ende's masterpiece, The NeverEnding Story. Now, this story isn't about huge wars or the fate of kingdoms. No, it's focused on something way more personal, the infinite, incredible depth of our own imagination.
So, see? Unlike that super clear good versus evil fight in Lord of the Rings, this story is way more introspective. The whole journey is symbolic, right? It's all about what it means to grow up, to face your own fears, to find out who you are. And that's the core difference. The conflict here, it's internal.
I mean, think about it. The villain isn't some dark lord in a tower. It's the nothing. And what a powerful metaphor that is, right? It's about all those forces inside of us, that apathy, that cynicism, that feeling of losing your dreams that can just eat away at your inner world. It's a villain we all recognize because, hey, it's part of being human. And all of this leads to that incredible ending. You know the one, when that iconic, soaring music kicks in and Bastian is flying on Falkor. That's not just a happy resolution. It's a signal. The movie itself, it was just a gate, just an entry point. The real adventure, the truly never-ending story, that's the one you're now invited to create inside your own head.
Okay. I know what you might be thinking right now. Hey, tons of modern movies have open endings, and you're not wrong. But there is a huge difference between what we're talking about, a true invitation, and just plain old ambiguity. Let's break it down.
So, a lot of modern ambiguous endings, they're really just a narrative tease, right? They're asking, so what happens next, inside a world that's already built? They leave you guessing between like option A, B, or C. It's kind of like a box that's only partially closed. But the invitation from The NeverEnding Story, that's something else entirely. It's a philosophical statement. It's not a box, it's a door that opens onto a completely blank canvas. It's not about what happens next in their story. It's about the infinite possibilities of what you can imagine. So, to put it simply, one is a clever storytelling trick. The other is a profound statement about life, about creativity, and about the power of our own imagination. And that, right there, brings us to the real power of this kind of storytelling, because it's not just a story anymore, it's basically a blueprint for how creativity itself works. It's an engine for our own imagination. I mean, think about it. It all starts with just one little seed, right? A single idea that sparks your curiosity. And from there, you start exploring, branching out into all these different what-ifs. And all of a sudden, you're not just passively watching a story unfold. No, you're actively taking part. You're basically training your brain to think more creatively, more flexibly, more fearlessly.
And this totally reframes how we should look at imagination. It's not just some fluffy, passive escape from the real world. Not at all. It's an active, disciplined skill. It's a method for exploring potential and coming up with brand new ideas. It's the mental habit of thinking and possibilities. And man, that is a tool that is more valuable today than ever before.
And you know, this brings us full circle, right back to the creators themselves. The only reason we have these incredible, enduring worlds, whether it's Middle-earth or Fantastica, is because guys like Tolkien and Ende didn't just sit around daydreaming about what-ifs. They had the courage and the discipline to make those what-ifs real, to build them into something tangible that could then go on and inspire all of us.
So in the end, stories like these leave us with a choice. We can admire the completed painting on the wall and say a fond, respectful goodbye. Or we can accept the invitation, walk through that open gate, and start exploring our own infinite possibilities. The greatest stories, you see, they don't just tell us what happened. They turn to us and ask, what could be? So I'll leave you with this. What if will you make real?